Not yet. I'll tell you.
Okay, now it's live.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Vinney and Beau show, and we come live to you 9 a.m. Pacific. 9 a.m. Pacific. Put it down on your calendar. Put it on your iPhone, iPad, wherever. Even the Android. I mean, we like Androids too, right? But go ahead and put that notification, guys, so that you can be knowing when we come live to you every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. So, hey, Bo, good morning, bud. How are ya?
Good morning, Vinny. I am doing well. We had a good call last night and with some investors, and it was very motivating. And the message we got from yesterday's call is what they do really well. They're in Phoenix. Is they call it squatting up, which means you have your core group of guys. They could even be your competitors, right? But you form alliances and you talk business and you push each other to the next level to get more success, right? And I
That
love
is
that.
am-
Yeah.
that is amazing. I think that's so good to do that. Like-minded people, and competition is healthy, isn't it? I mean, many times the companies don't grow, and they don't really give out their very best of the best of the best unless there is competition. I mean, we only look introspectively when we are bringing a better product to the our clients, our prospects, everybody that we deal with. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was good to kind of get that because I brought Ty, my friend Ty. He comes to our meetups sometimes, and
Yeah.
he's a residential, mostly residential. He's a broker and an investor, but he's really good at finding deals off market. So it was him and I and these two other guys from Arizona, and
Yes.
I mean it was just booming. We had tons of people, tons of interest, and because
Awesome.
right now everybody's home, right? Right now people
Hey,
are.
we are locked down, man. I mean, nowhere to go. Even to the garage, we don't want to go there. Maybe there is some coronavirus, hiding there, right? I mean, it's that invisible enemy that can be in the air anywhere. So be as secluded, guys, as far apart, because that's what we need right now, right, Bo?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've been following on the news, but at some point, we got to focus on, taking our business to the next
Yep.
level. And
Yep.
at the end of the day, you know, a year from now, we're all going to be here, right?
Hey, I mean, 3 months from now, we all
Right.
will be here and we'll be ramping up our business even more. But what you're saying is so right, Bo. I mean, this is the opportunity. It will never come in our lifetime, at least for many, many, people, maybe the whole world anyway. But the thing is that we can utilize this time. We could take care of ourselves and get focused and grow our businesses in different remote ways. I mean, there are so many opportunities out there. Yeah, and we're going to discuss a lot of them today. So I hope if you are all hunkering down, get a cup of coffee, guys. Get that little lemonade or wherever you are, or the lunch, maybe East Coast, and join us and put some things in the chat. Actually, Bo, we have started doing this on a very special platform. Share with us about that.
Right. So with technology and with what's happening in the environment with the coronavirus, all right, we're starting to really use technology more so than ever, I believe. And I think this is going to change the way people are going to start working from home. Even when this passes, people are going to work from home. People are going to be using Zoom,
Yeah.
Slack. And the service we're using right now is called StreamYard.com, and it's absolutely awesome. Where you can stream to multiple platforms, so YouTube,
Yes.
Facebook. I can actually stream and embed a link onto my website, so it's very functional. So more people can watch and comment and enjoy the content that we're putting out for free for people,
Fabulous.
right?
Fabulous.
So I see the shift, and as I listen to more and more other people that are
Mhm.
out there, everybody kind of sees the same kind of shift in the environment where things are going to be home based more, and so the more you can equip yourself to be 100% functional without ever having to leave your house, it's just going to make it better for you. Obviously, it's good to go out and interact, and we do live events often as soon as this coronavirus goes out, you know,
Yep.
we'll be doing live events too. But I think this has really taught me to I could actually get in front of so many more people by putting on live streams, and people are dialed in. People are on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn now so often, because that's how we're connecting now,
So
as
true.
as opposed to belly to belly.
For
And I
sure.
think, yeah,
Yeah,
I think,
so right. No,
yeah.
you're so right about it. I mean, telecommuting, I was just going to research, Google it. How many Americans are telecommuting now? Lots and lots and lots. And how many people are stuck in the traffic when you just were saying that? Wouldn't that be tremendous? Great for our environment and everything, not using gas and the pollution and everything, and spending 2 hours, 3 hours commuting time and getting back-to-back traffic in the Bay Area. And I don't know where you just moved to, Henderson and Las Vegas. I'm sure over there also traffic will be there. Look at Houston, look at all these metro areas, look at LA. I mean, this could be game changer. And many times, we get so bogged down that we need to have that interaction and the coffee breaks and this and that, which could be there. Maybe a lot of companies will say, hey, out of 5 days, just come one day to rejoice and get the productivity up, and meet with your supervisors just for one day a week. And wouldn't that be great? World, that'll be awesome, wouldn't it?
Well, I know, like, certain people can work from
Yeah.
home and actually be like probably way more productive. I think they've done studies where you have to be self-sufficient, obviously, but if you're
Yeah.
self-sufficient, you're probably 2 or 3 times more productive working out of your house. Because think about it, you don't have to get ready, really. You could throw on a baseball cap if you need
That's
to,
right.
and
I
then
got ready in 3 minutes, buddy. Yeah.
and then if I have to go on an appointment, I just go, and I'm still in my underwear, but I put on a dress shirt. Nobody knows, right?
Hey, it's formal upstairs and casual downstairs. Yeah, that's what I say.
So tonight we're doing at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here, wherever you're watching from. It'll be shown
Yes.
again. We're
Yes.
actually good morning, Hank. I see we got some comments coming in.
All right.
But tonight we're going to do an analysis. I was talking to your VP, John,
Yeah.
this morning,
Yes.
and he's
Yes.
finalizing putting just a very simple PowerPoint on a 10-unit acquisition in Washington.
Love it. Love it.
I don't know the specific details, but it's going to be great to walk through. I think, like, what I get from most people now is that they want actual case studies, right? They want to, like,
Surely.
and they don't want to see what you're buying, Vinney, because
I know.
it's
I know.
overwhelming
I
them.
know.
Okay, 300
I'm
units.
with you.
No, I want to just walk me through,
Sure.
and so what we're doing is walking through a small building. It's 10 units, right? So we're going to go through
Totally,
that tonight.
totally. I'm so excited about it, and it's going to be a lot of good information. Promise. I promise you guys, give you my very best. I'll go back 12 years, right? But I started in this business. I just wanted to share that with everybody listening to us. I did not know nothing. 12 to 14 years back, I didn't know anything about NOI, net operating income, LOI, letter of intent, cash on cash, COC, ROI, return on investment, IRR, you name it. Vinny Chopra did not know nothing. We owned some single family homes, and it's very simple to buy them and so forth like that. But when I really got into it with the multifamily, I bought that 14 units. I mean, I'll go right back to that today at 5 o'clock. What I went through and how I approached some of the, smaller unit brokers and everything. So, and how we came to the market, where we went and all that stuff. Because in this recession, it's already recession, by the way. I mean, people agree or not agree. It might even go to, recession, and what's the other one? Depression.
Depression.
Yeah,
Depression.
depression when you lose your job, right? They say recession when your neighbor loses the job. Depression is when you lose your job. I'm just kidding. But the thing is, we'll come back out of this 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I know there was a survey today. I just said 24 months it might take, to get the normalcy back. But government is doing a lot of stuff. We need to do a lot of stuff ourselves, right? But tonight, 5 o'clock, put it on your calendar. and it's a free webinar for you. And please join it. Yeah, Beau and I and John Rusin. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get John, let's get John on too, because I can have 6 people on the stream at once.
Oh, we should. We
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
Yeah.
So John, if you're listening, you should get on tonight.
Okay. Yeah, John, come on in, bud. And then, Alicia, my marketer, promoter, and maybe we can do some, show with that, because we are here to give value, right, Beau? I mean, that's what it's all about. If we can give value to build your brand, to get you to, be in more people, more prospects, that's what it's all about, really. How to grow your business. That's what our show is: real estate, loans, and growing your brand, your name, and everything.
And wrap it all in with motivation, because that's
Yes, yes,
really,
yes.
if you're, yeah.
That's the key thing. When Vinny's there, we're gonna be talking about a lot of goal setting and excitement and enthusiasm, positivity, all those things. You bet. Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 types of people out there right now. People that are at home and they're not doing jack shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, right? They're just
Yeah.
like, okay, I get a couple days off.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole other breed of people which are going, you know what? I'm going to 10x my business right now, right? I'm gonna work harder, and that's what I'm doing. I chose to do that because I went through the last downturn, and I didn't know. I thought I knew about real estate back then, 10, 12 years ago, but I didn't know shit about real estate.
Yeah.
And and over the last 12 years, I've engulfed myself with people like you, people that are doing lots of deals, people that can teach me something, and of course, I provide value in my ways with my financing background. But what's going on like in my business right now is that there's so many lenders, these portfolio and short-term lenders that are they're not lending right now. So
yeah,
all through all these Facebook groups I'm a part of and I'm a member in, I see people that are not able to close, not able. So what I've done is I've taken huge action, and I've had 20 years of connections of people, investors and financiers and loan companies. I know who's lending right now. So my objective over the next week or two is to finalize it. So it's like, I know exactly if a loan's in, let's say, Southern California, and it's a certain asset class, I know who's going to lend on it, and I can put that deal together. So what really came about with this downturn right now and this kind of flux in the market where like the lenders don't know what the heck's going on, because the buyers are going to probably these REITs, some of them are going to BK and reposition and restructure. So then these middlemen lenders aren't going to lend money, right? Because they don't have the buyers.
Yep.
But there's a lot of money still. And so now it's just navigating those waters. And that's exactly what I've done. Because at the end of the day, when there's fear, I think Warren Buffett or somebody said, when there's blood in the streets, that's the time to buy, right? So at some time over the next 12 months,
yes,
right? And then, because I look back at 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, if I was more well-equipped back then, I would have made millions of dollars, as opposed to making good money, but not nearly what I could have done because I didn't have my financial friends in place to fund these deals, right? And so you always have to be harvesting your private, your investor database, people that want to put money with you to work with you. And so that's kind of how I'm positioning now. And I've already talked to a lot of my friends, like, I've been talking with Tommy Christie, Tommy.
Yes, and I know Tommy.
Yeah. So
wonderful person.
Right. And so he's a big acquisition guy of single family homes. So I'm picking his brain, like, what are you doing right now? How are you? And guys like him are figuring out how they're going to fund their deals, how they're going to disposition their properties, because he'll fund, and then he'll get a portfolio loan, then he'll go, he'll start another LLC and buy more and more and more. So the guys like that are guys that I want to connect with, and what I want to do for my group and your group is share my knowledge that I'm hearing from guys that have been in the trenches and been doing it, like yourselves, right? That have a lot of doors, because pretty soon you're in the next 15 days you're going to say, okay, our delinquency rate went from 2% to 6%, and this is what we're doing. So I'm going to get people like you to give me feedback, so I know I'm getting it straight from the horse's mouth what's going on, right? Because we can't really trust the media. Sometimes I repost stuff in groups, and the reality is we got to look at those articles we're reading and kind of saying who's sending that article, which side of the fence, because
deviation. Right.
Yeah.
So
what's
true there.
And news is usually a month behind, typically, right? It's like, when we get these outlooks on the multifamily market, that's looking back. Okay,
Exactly.
we got to look 90 to 180 days forward, plus then some.
Forward. That's so true, Bo. What you're saying, just to kind of capsulize, what you're saying is, the opportunities come, right? They knock at our door. Many times we just don't avail of those opportunities, right? And we are coming to that trend right now. What happened in 2007 and 8 was a different statistics, the whole housing meltdown and everything, right? But it went into recession. I mean, all the things fell apart. Some of the areas took longer to come back. Some came like V and then got back. It was more like a U, right? Like you shared in one of the positive twists. The other thing, I was on a panel this week with COVID-19. We were talking about V, or is it going to be like a what's that? Yeah, no,
Bell,
like a swoosh.
a
So
bell curve.
yeah, like the Nike symbol, kind of like going down and then like that. So some of the economists are feeling that might be the way to do it, and that kind of sounds better for me also. I think it's going to take a little bit time, but it's not going to be a big U at all. Like in certain areas in the market, last recession, it took 2 years, 3 years, right? But it's not going to be that bad. I mean, once we take care of handle of the curve, in certain parts of the USA, the bell curve, then I'm sure President Trump and other officials will say, yeah, let's go back to work in these areas. Well, the only thing I'm worried is if some areas open up, the people from the areas that are not opened up will come there and contaminate. I mean, all those things. But we have to look at that. The thing is, what I did in that crash, not knowing much at all, I said, where is the best employment going on right now? Okay, I mean, at this time we are pretty good, and unemployment is going to go up because of mandatorily people staying at home. But then in 3 months, 6 months, I mean, everybody's going to go to work. They will. It's not going to be that things are going to fall apart. So it's a great opportunity to educate yourself, if I may say. If you've been thinking about getting into duplex, fourplex, 10plex, 15plex units, go for it. Go for it, because my first unit that I ever bought, by the way, was 14 units for $180,000. $180,000 in the crash of 2007 and 8. And now, with the grace of God, we have 4,100 units that we have bought, over $330 million worth. So there is that curve, but you definitely want to take on that opportunity. That's what I wanted to say. Opportunities come, people knock on doors to get into the situations, but now is the time. These 2-3 months are the best months to really make up your mind. Are you happy with W2? Or even if you're happy with W2 job, why not to start streams of income, right? That's what we talk about. For financial independence, it's going to be streams of income coming from all different places that will let you stay, your course, and do the, education for the kids, the lifestyles, the trips, the charities, and all those things.
It was funny. I'm not a stock guy, but I started to like go on and start looking at real estate stocks because I knew they were like some certain REITs that owned certain. And I found this stock, and I was like, I kept on trying to buy it, but I was putting a limited order on it. So I was.
What's the name of it?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
So. I'm just dabbling because I don't know stocks, so I'm not putting serious money in there. But I was going to buy $2,000 worth of this stock, which was
yeah.
So I was trying to buy it at 70 cents a share, or 72, 77, I think was my limit bid.
I see.
And the other day it went up 35% in a day, and so I would have made $1,000 if I would have just set my bid price up 3 cents or 4 cents, because it would have triggered the buy. It didn't, right?
Yeah.
So my point was that if it just got hammered so bad because of what they're buying. But I know that it's temporary, right? People
Yeah.
are scared. Basically, they buy in urban areas. They buy strip centers, but their anchor tenant is grocery stores. So the thing is that was my take on it, was that their anchor tenants are like solid grocery stores. Those aren't going to go out of
No,
business.
no.
Right? Because I mean, Whole Foods right now, they'll do delivery, right? Which is amazing. I
Yep.
mean,
With Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon owns Whole Foods now, right?
Yes.
Amazon, during this time, I can't tell you how much I just spent $1,000 in the last week on Amazon products.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Going through the roof. Oh my God. They can't even keep up with the demand. It's so, I mean, you can't get scheduled, times of delivery and things like that. But you're right. I mean, look at the business model, right? I mean, everything is closed, but the grocery stores, the food, right? And also at the same token, um, some other, the other thing I wanted to talk about was also, I think with the nature of this business, all these electronic companies, right? Look at that. I mean, people are doing same amount of work or even more productive work, where you could do full-time work from your home. So those people are, excelling and growing and things like that. Let's talk about, did somebody make some comment? I know we should really, hey guys, this is a program for you all. So please do write your comments and notes you want to talk about, some questions. I know I did a webinar yesterday, 71 people last night. And it was really great to answer the questions from the audience, because they really wanted to get answers what's on their mind. So anything that you can think of and all, Bud? What's going on there?
let me check, because it streams. I'll check real quick if there's any
Okay,
in
okay.
the
I know,
groups,
I
if
know.
there's anything.
Yeah.
Um,
I know we did talk about, while you're doing that, how to build your teams. And that's what you just talked about, Beau, was that you are assimilating the team, with Tommy and with other friends and, from Las Vegas and other parts of the country. This whole, our whole world has become, it's so approachable. I mean, you can meet with people anywhere in the world just with a jiffy. I mean, just like that on Zoom or Skype or WhatsApp or whatever, right? So you don't really need that physical belly to belly like we call. You don't need that. I mean, these video conferences are so tremendous. It feels like you're right there. I mean, I'm not there with you in Las Vegas, but you are right there in Henderson. I'm here in Danville, California, and here we are, discussing as if we are in the same room. So things do happen for a certain reason. I think some of people might be thinking, why I just can't do anything. I got I mean, with everything happening, the Christophania, and stressed out, all that. But we should be able to assimilate, pause, and then find ways to be productive, in these times of 2-3 months or whatever. Right. So what was the question? Is there a
well,
question there?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few. I'm typing a response into somebody because they're wondering where they can watch.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Cool, cool.
but
Yeah. I know we are. This is the new one. We are just doing it, and from that,
what so one of the questions, Vinny, was on these smaller multifamily properties.
mm-hmm.
We had mentioned seller finance, and this might be a good opportunity to find some mom and pops that have some
Yes,
small
yes.
multifamily,
Uh-huh.
and then structure some seller financing. Also, they want you to touch on like what type of loans are assumable in multifamily typically,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like HUD loans, and like what opportunities might be there.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yeah. I know both of us are looking at some questions that people may be asking and all. But yeah, let's go back there. Totally, totally. Uh,
Okay, tonight, if you go, what I suggest is you go to meetup.com/thrive REIA, and then you register there as a member, and then you can see the events. But typically, all the events will stream into Facebook group or Facebook.com/groups/real estate investing club. I think wherever
you
you're
bet.
watching, you
You
could be
bet.
watching us in a few different places. It's hard to, but if you go to meetup.com/thrive REIA, we always
Mm-hmm.
post the links to the events there. And then also inside the Facebook groups.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then Vinny's also got Facebook groups. So what we need to do.
Exactly. Yeah. We have two different ones. And then, of course, my following. I think I have likes. I just saw John was sharing with me 3,900 people. So, we'll be able to kind of stream it out to them also and everything. And fabulous. Yeah. I hope we get 1,000 people join tonight. That'll be tremendous. Um,
So
so
let's
let's
go.
talk.
Yeah,
Please go.
let's go back to the question on seller financing, because a lot of newer investors, for example,
Yep.
might not be able to get funding right now. But there's also probably a lot of mom and pops that are burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And how would your
And they're ready to retire. They've been thinking about it. Bo, a lot of things happen in life, right? Divorces happen. People retire, deaths in the family, trusts are passed down to the children. Children are busy in different, their own jobs, and they don't want to take care of the apartment complex or any kind of duplex, fourplex, in any kind of property. So there are different ways that people will be motivated. That's the word, right? So it's a good opportunity for people to scan through the Craigslist right now. Craigslist, and also looking through LoopNet. LoopNet also is a free website, right? I don't think we need to pay there. CoStar owns LoopNet, which is a commercial website, but many times, LoopNet will be featured for free. The other part is realtors.com. Realtors and Redfin. A lot of time I've seen some small mom and pop multifamily apartments on Redfins also, and so look into all these avenues to wherever in any part of the USA where you are thinking to purchase anything, you may come across some good leads. Yeah.
so I guess when you're having the conversation with the seller,
Uh-huh.
um, and they're like, hey, I mean, they want to sell. Basically, we've had it for 20 years. It's been a good property, needs some maintenance now, needs to
Yep.
be updated. I mean, if I am trying to buy that property, my talking points to them are, one is that we'll buy it as is. We're not going to retrade the price.
Right.
We know what we're getting into,
Yep.
and we're paying you a little bit. We're paying you top dollar for the asset, because in return you're selling on terms, right? So we're able to
Yes.
actually pay you a better price, because I can give you a cash offer, but it's going
Yeah.
to be lower. So would you rather the cash right now, or would you rather the terms where you're getting your price? And a lot of times they go, well, I can take $1 million right now, or they'll pay me at 1.3 million on terms. And
Correct. Yep.
but then the big part is how do you kind of like show, like, I mean, the real benefit is that they also won't be taxed. They'll be
Exactly. I'm
taxed.
glad you mentioned it.
So
Yep.
how do you? So I'm not a CPA, and I know you're not
Actually, as
either.
a matter of fact, I have an interview with my very good friend Ted Lozano, and we're going to be doing a podcast interview today in about an hour or so. So we'll be broadcasting that, but I'll ask him that question. I know how I understand is as soon as you sell the property, and there is a closing statement, and in the closing statement it says that you sold the property this day, it got recorded this day, then you have to look at the capital gain, right? It's the long-term capital gain. If it's over 12 months, you bought the property 15 years back, and Mr. Seller, and you paid 100,000 for it, right? Okay. Now I'm paying you $1 million. Now there is a $900 gain. But not only that, he probably took the depreciation also. So the depreciation of 100,000 what he paid minus the land is not depreciated, maybe 80,000 he already wrote off. He has to capture that also. So now the gain is, guess what? It's not 900, it's 980,000, and the seller has to pay capital gain tax on that. Now, if they are seller financing, right, we could write the terms out as a promissory note, all right? So we do sell it. They sold it to me, right, Beau? I'm not a CPA, guys, and I'm not a real estate attorney or anything like that. But as I understand it, that's how it works, is that if they are selling it and I'm writing a promissory note, now they are my bank. So they are the bank and they'll write, okay, first year interest only 5% or 6% or whatever, right? And second year, they might say, I want you to refinance, or, give me the whole money back, what you are owe to me, or I'm going to increase the interest rate a little bit to keep you for the second year and third year, because they want to make sure that you're not going to take that property, run it into ground, and then they have to recapture it back. So that's a promissory note. How I did it in the crash, by the way. Nobody will give me loan. Nobody will give my partner any loan. And then we approached the seller of 109 units in the crash, and he accepted it. It was 6%, 7%, 8%, 9% loan back then, right? That's 12 years back.
Okay, so let's get, if your CPA that you're going to be talking to, if he'll come on the show next Friday.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Maybe we will. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll share that. John, if you're listening to me, buddy, we can definitely send a little note to Ted. And he's from Connecticut. Great, great friend. And we have done some podcasts. I've been on his and he's been on mine. Now we are doing show. We just did the whole senior living panel discussion. What are the benefits of senior living investing? Also with Ted and my partner Imran. So we'll try to get him on, and he's on the East Coast, so
yeah.
that's like about 12 o'clock there.
And so my thought behind that is that within our groups, Vinney, collectively, we have a lot of members, a lot of people that we interact with, is that
Sure.
it would be good if some of our vendors, like a CPA that, gives advice on matters like this, where we say, hey, we have a vendor, he's going to charge you X amount an hour. But when I'm talking to a seller that likes me and says, I'll sell you the property, but I need some real information from somebody that's licensed or a CPA, right? Like, to kind of give me the breakdown. If I sell it to you on terms, I just want to know what I can expect, right? And so then we have a third party we can refer our potential sellers, right? Because
Sure.
a lot of times these sellers, they could easily sell it on the market, but they also want to give the little guy a shot and say, hey, I want my property to be loved and managed correctly, and I like you,
That's
right?
a big thing. That's a big thing. For some, owners who have so much equity in the deal, and if there is a nice, kind-hearted people, buyers who are really considerate and they are respectful, and they'll give a fair price, and then at the end of the day, less hassle and not a retrade, and to be able to really take care of the residents. Like, for example, if it's a 6-unit property, 12-unit property, and the new buyer is not going to kick all of them out and start raising the rents so high that to make more money. I think if you give them a business plan, see, that's the reason too. A lot of time when we purchase the property, right? I've been purchasing so many now, but that's the thing. They want to know, what's your business plan? How you're going to take care of the residents who have given them the food and the bread for many, many years, right? So we have to be considerate. We need to look at a win-win-win-win situations.
Hank asked, would you focus on properties already listed or try to approach owners off market? And
go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So over the last couple of years, it's been extremely competitive. So we've always been trying to build relationships off market.
Mm-hmm.
But typically in the larger multifamily space, when we say off market, it's really there's a broker involved. He just
Yeah,
hasn't put it out on LoopNet and Crexy and
correct.
things like that. Now, in the single family market, the best deals have been off market, which means they're a wholesaler might have it, or you're direct to the seller. That's the best way to go. Now, I am going to add in now that we are in a recession, which back
Yeah,
in the day when I started doing flips on single family homes, I could literally go in the MLS and cherry pick deals. It was
yeah,
that
me
much
too.
easier, right?
Yeah.
That changed quickly over
My
the
first two
yeah.
deals were from LoopNet, guys. Maybe third and fourth also in the recession time over there. Yeah.
So the if you create there's you should have different systems because when you're new, the idea is to lock up a good deal. When I mean lock up, get it into contract, get an LOI on it, and then when learn the basic underwriting that it's a good deal. You know what the stabilized value is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's so many people out there that are willing to hold your hand, but you also, if you're new, you got to realize that it's not just, hey, can you help me? You should look at everything as like reciprocal, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
if you have a really good deal, you can bring it to an experienced person, say, hey, I have a really good deal. I have it in contract, but I don't really, I need somebody like you to help close the deal. And typically they'll do like a split with you
Yeah.
and help you get the deal done. You should try to align yourself with people that will be able to help facilitate those deals, or you just act as the deal finder. On some of Vinney's deals, he's paid people up to $200,000 because they brought the deal to the table, right? And then they got their assignment fee or their bird dog
Sure.
fee, and then they're
Yeah.
out of the equation. That's also a way you start in this business too, without any of your own money or credit. So there's a lot of
Totally.
ways to start, and that was our
You know,
call. Yeah, our call last
no,
night was
very true, very true.
yeah.
I was going to just mention also to the audience, look at LoopNet. I mean, it's not that many times they're very, very bad properties there. But in the smaller number of units, if you're looking at 4, 5, 8, 10, 15 units, I really like to look at the LoopNet in the given city. Just do that and find out who are the brokers. See, you want to get to know the brokers who deal in those small number of units, and you take their name, you send them a little text message and say, hey, I'm a very motivated buyer with some group of people. We have the equity raised. They'd like to hear that. They don't want to hear about debt. You say we have equity raised and we are looking for 8 units to 12 units in your area. We are very excited about what the prospects are of job, this. Send them a text and give your email address and phone number so that they can reply back, or Google their name. Hold on, guys. Many times you don't know what their phone number is many times. So you Google their name in that city, and under their company, you come out with their V card, right? And you text them, you email them, and you call them. Do all these 3 things if you really want to be successful. And the squeaky wheel gets the grease, I call it always in my academy. So you got to really be in their face, and not in the face, I mean, you got to be talking to them and letting them know, hey, I'm really looking forward to underwriting some deals and things like that. I'm a quick, fast giving feedback to you, and we can put the property under contract. And guess what? With the coronavirus, most of the brokers are working from home. I mean, this is the opportunity. Even the VPs and the presidents of the company and the CEOs, you've been trying to get in front of them. They have time. I'm telling you, texting, email, and all that. I remember one time I went to Atlanta. I think I told you, maybe, John. Beau. I had 4 hours left to catch the plane. I said, holy cow, I want to utilize my time. Here, I got a referral. I did Google. I got the V card of the vice president of his multifamily. He met me within 15 minutes. I took an Uber, went to his office in Buckhead. He met with me, 5 other people there. And then one of his, team member drove me to 5 or 6 properties that day and dropped me at the airport. I still remember that. and I ended up buying two assets there, in Atlanta. And so, there are ways to do the work, and the biggest thing is to be creative. I mean, what if this, that. You can do anything with Google, you can do anything with LinkedIn. I mean, I never meet anybody unless I find them on Google. I mean, and also find them on LinkedIn, and read about them and who they are and all that. The more we know about the prospects, brokers, investors, or whoever we are dealing with, right, vendors, the better chances of us getting happily involved in some relationship, right, business relationship, and working together.
Yeah, and I think kind of Brittany, who works with Hank, they're newer investors. To answer your question is that you actually don't need money to be a real estate investor. I mean, it definitely helps. Don't get me wrong. If you have a couple million bucks, you're way off. Or if you have financial friends with millions of dollars that are willing to put money. But in the beginning, the best advice I could say is educate yourself. When you're not looking for deals or analyzing deals, you should be connecting with people, connecting with people that buy properties that you can wholesale deals to, people that would do a joint venture with you. So a lot of my fix and flip friends, they started, buying and then renovating and selling houses. What they did is they went out and they got a great deal. And then through their networking, they found somebody who had money, and that money partner became a 50-50 partner. So they went out and got a loan, but they still needed the equity, the down payment, and the carrying costs and things. So then they go to Bank of Vinney. Let's say Vinney likes me, and he says, "Hey, I've got an IRA with a couple $100,000, and it's just sitting there doing nothing." I say, "Vinney, listen, you've seen my track record so far. I mean, maybe you don't have experience, but you know me. You've seen what I've done over my lifetime of whatever it is, and I found this property." And I can buy it for $100,000, and it needs $25,000 of work. Here's my budget, and I got three budget. I got three bids from contractors, so we know it's a pretty reliable bid. So
Legit,
it's 25,000 to fix, and then here's the best comps, and this is a CMA from 3 brokers showing that the value is going to be $200,000. So then you take it to a money partner and say, "This is the plan. This is what I'm going to do." And the first one might be a little bit more challenging because you don't have a track record. But as you go, it becomes easy, because once you pay people back, they're like, "Well, I just didn't really do it. I just let my little employees, their employees are their little money, like $1 is one employee, right?" You go, so Vinney has, let's say he has 200,000 sitting in an account that's not doing anything. "Vinney, lend me that $50,000 on the first deal," because you don't want to take all of his money on the first deal because he's not going to lend it to you. "I need 50,000 to cover the down payment and the carrying costs." He lends the money out as either a JV partner where he's on title with you, or as a second deed holder. We actually is kind of like a mortgage, but in second position. And then you negotiate an equity share. So that's a common thing you'll see with newer investors. And I actually know investors to this day, every deal they do on the flip business, they just split, because they would rather use somebody else's capital, because they're able to now do 10 or 15 projects a year, as opposed to only being able to do 1 or 2 projects, right? So if I had Vinney, after I did my first deal and he got his $50,000 became 70,000 or 65,000 in a 5-month window, he made a 20-something% return or a 15% return. I mean, some people are happy with the 5% return. Then he's more inclined to start lending, and he might say, "Hey, listen, I can probably do 2 or 3 of these loans at one time to you, because I have $200,000 in there." So then you start building from there, and then you find another Vinney, and then another Vinney, and another Vinney. And the idea is not to get too many going at once, because you want to keep their money working, because if you don't keep their money working, they're going to go find another operator where they're going to say, "Okay, well, you're not keeping my money business, which my money's circulating fast enough, so I'm not getting a return on my investment that I prefer. I'm gonna give you 50, but I'm gonna put 50 with Jim over here, because he's keeping my money out and turning." Because at the end of the day, it really comes down to the velocity of money, right? Like, so now, granted, some investors say, "Listen, I'll lend it out ongoing at 7%," and to them that's great. But a lot of them are or more sophisticated because they have a couple $1,000,000 and they're like, well, I want to get my returns up 10, 15, 20%. And that the only way they can do that is by circular reciprocating that money over and over again.
That is so good what you just said, Beau, because see, many times we limit ourselves saying that, I have little money or no money, and that's being creative, right? And looking through your influence. That's what I also say, circle of influence, like 5 different circles, 6 different circles. And the good thing is to don't rationalize. If we rationalize, I mean, it's amazing how much money is around us. Everybody, there's so many people in everybody's circle of influence who have a lot of money in retirement plans and self-directed or in stock market, a little bit lower now with the downfall, or cash or mutual funds and all. And they would love to. I mean, if you approach them correctly and share with them the game plan and why you're buying this and how it's going to work, like Beau, you said, with the business plan, they will be willing. They'll be willing to come as an equity partner. That's the key thing, debt partner or equity partner. But the equity partner is amazing because if you give them the upside along with, the interest or whatever, or cash flow, they will come along with you. Yeah.
Hey, Jim Ingersoll says, hey, Smiley. How you
Hey,
doing?
how are you, Jim? How you doing, bud?
All right. And so we've gone on pretty close to 50 minutes here. We've got
Yeah,
we've
I
got
think we
a
should wrap
special
up.
at 5 o'clock tonight. We're going to go live on,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
um,
And
on,
we'll put a little blurb, Beau, give it, and I'll put it into my circle also on the Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere, guys, so that you could get to that link that will be able to broadcast. And there's no limit, right?
no
As many
limit,
people can join. Yeah, no
no limit.
problem, no cost. It's free, guys, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have fun tonight. So thanks again, Beau. It's such a pleasure, man. Hey, remember, guys, give us comments, likes, share. I mean, we do it for you, and it's coming live now in 5 different channels at the same time. So hopefully, we'll grow our followers. And again, it's on Friday, 9 a.m. Vinney and Beau show, and we are trying to make a difference in everybody's lives. And please let us know what topics you would like us to talk about, because that's the real key. That is the real key. It's for you.
And let me just end this because I think this is ironic that I got this text message just now.
Uh-huh.
So my father is not on LinkedIn. My father is not on Facebook. He's not on anything social media.
Yeah.
And so my dad is not what I would call tech savvy, right? At
Sure.
all. Okay.
Sure.
And here's a guy that he could 10x his business overnight if he just got it. So finally I said, Dad, okay, he's a financial planner. Okay. And he's kind of semi-retired, but he still needs to make some money. And I said, Dad, you need to use Zoom because he's planning
Yeah.
on relocating from the Bay Area to move out here to Las Vegas to be closer to his favorite son, myself.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So most of his clients are in the Bay Area within a 2-hour radius. And I said, Dad, you need to use Zoom. And so it was funny. We were talking about technology and he just sent me a text. Hey, send me the link to Zoom so I can see how it works.
I love it.
But see, guys, you got to realize these old school guys, Dad, if you're listening, which he's not because he's not on Facebook, you could be 10xing your business right now by just adapting these simple strategies. You could be giving market updates. You could stay in front of your clients. So now what he's going to do, which is smart because everybody's going to this, is like even doctors are starting to meet with their clients over the
yeah. My appointment coming up is on Zoom.
Yeah. And now my dad's got this client for 20 years. And so he would always drive. I remember growing up when I lived at home, this is 25 years ago. He would go and he'd have to drive 2 hours to go see this client. Like, and there's some value in face-to-face time. Don't get me wrong, but
totally.
How much better could he have serviced his client by doing like a weekly call with the client as opposed to once every quarter, right? The client would have had a lot more care, probably wouldn't even have needed my dad to ever come see him again, right? But see, so now what I have to do is encourage like my father to like tap in, right? Especially right
Yeah,
now, you can't go visit people. Nobody wants you to come visit them. Tap
sure.
into these tools. And it's, I mean, we're really in an environment that, like, if you're not using this stuff, you're crazy. I mean, it's just, I mean,
Very crazy.
yeah, use the basics. I'm not saying go overload
And
Salesforce,
it's
this,
so
yeah,
easy.
yeah.
It's so easy. And it's like ABC. And the best thing is, Bo, I mean, whoever uses, we are not promoting, we are not getting paid by Zoom or GoToMeeting or WebEx or anything like that. But that's the name of the game. I mean, it's bringing people together in uncanny time without any trouble, any hassle of travels and this. And people can do it from the comfort of their office and their home. So thank you so much, Beau, for sharing that, bud. Hey, look forward to many of you tonight at 5 p.m. and then also next Friday, 9 a.m.
All
Vinney
right,
and Beau
Vinny.
show. All
Thank you,
right.
buddy. I'll see you
Thank
tonight.
you. Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.